For this picture, I want to make a drawing of a leprechaun. And as we go, you can make creative changes. For example, if you want to change the way the eyes are made, you can change that. You can change the way the nose is made. You can change the way the mouth is made. You can change the hat. Alright, let's get started on that. And we'll start with the nose. We'll start with this little piece right here. First, put your finger in the middle of the paper like this. And then we'll go right beside the tops of that and just slide straight over. Skip a little space and put a line for the bottom of the leprechaun's eye there. Skip a little space from the nose and put a line for the leprechaun's eye there. These two lines should be about the same. Well, they should be the same, really. Then you can put rainbow shapes over top, and the rainbow shape makes the open part of the eye. And if you get these the same size and shape, it'll look better. And I like for them to go up, quite a bit to leave room for the colored part of the eye, which I'm going to put right here like this. And then you can fill in. I always usually wait and fill the colored part of the eye in later with the marker. I'll go ahead and do it now so you can see what I'm talking about. I usually leave just a little white spot to show where light reflects off the middle of the eye. Now, for eyelashes, wow, I made those kind of long. If you draw very lightly, it's easy to erase. I've got two lines here. One's very light. It's made just by barely rubbing the paper with your pencil. The other is drawn regular. This is hard to erase, and if you do erase it, it may smudge and just make a black smudgy spot. This is very easy to erase. So whenever you're drawing something and just kind of trying it out, draw light and it'll be easy to erase. See, I can't even erase that. That's too dark now. I'm going to put his eyebrows over top like this, and I'm going to make them thick so I can make them kind of bushy like hair. And they just fit right over top of the eyes. And I think I'm going to work on his mouth. Now, I'm going to come down from the corner of his eye. I'm going to skip down below his nose. I'm going to go below the nose and under the eye. It's like an L shape from here, only don't draw. We're just putting a dot. We're not making an L. If you made an L, erase it. Go from the corner down and from under the nose over, and that's where we're going to put a dot. Do the same thing over here. Under the corner of the eye and over from the nose. Then we'll draw a smiling face, mouth. Draw a mouth for a smiling face. And there's a couple lines where the muscle dimples when you smile like that. This will look really good when you get it all darkened in. Now you want to go away from the corner of his eye this direction about a half a finger, like in the middle of your fingernail. Like slide your finger up beside the eye and then go up on top of your finger and put a dot about right in there somewhere, a little line. Same thing over here. Put your finger beside the eye, go right on top of your finger and just put a little line right in there. We don't want these two lines far away from the eyes, but we don't want them to touch it either. And when we go over top, we want to go just barely over top the eyebrows, right in there. And make a rainbow shape. I'm going to use a very light line so that I can kind of adjust it as I go. See, it takes a little bit of erasing sometimes. Now here's another problem. You can get hung up on erasing, and you can erase and erase and erase and fix, and you'll never get it to suit you. Never. Bring this line on down and stop it when it gets lined up on the bottom of the eyes. You should be able to run your finger across here. You should go from the bottom of this, under the eye, slide over the nose, under the eye, and back to this line. That keeps them uniform on both sides. Now, we're going to slant out about a half a finger, not much. Now, don't slant way out. We're going to give him kind of a wide face here on the bottom. You can turn it sideways or upside down. I like to turn it sideways so I can make this like a letter D. Nice and round. And don't go too far below his mouth. If you get this way down there, that's going to look funny. You shouldn't be far below his mouth. And use a light line so that you can make changes to it. And then whatever's left over, it's very easy to erase. Then you can darken in the line. If you draw dark at first and then you decide to change something, you're going to have lots of smudges. And we really don't want that. All right, let's start putting the ears on. Let's go over here, go about to the middle of his eye and then hook on right there and make a little slant like you're going to make a letter Y. It's like one side of a letter Y, and then go over here and do the other one. See if we slid those together, it'd make a Y in the middle. Now, this is where there's several places where you can make creative changes. If you want to change the ears, change the ears. From the top of that line, I go straight down, and now it looks kind of like a crooked A. It looks like a letter A without the middle piece, only it leans. I put a letter C on this side and a letter D on this side, and I've got his little round ears. Pointed on top and round on the bottom. And this is what I've got. Next, we're going to put this rim of the hat, then we'll put the hair, beard, top of the hat. All that's coming up shortly. If you want one more little piece on his ears like that, you can add that. Now, put a dot right on top of his head, very, very tip top, and slide your finger over. Don't make a line here. Just go up. Just go up and look when you get lined up with this dot. We want his hat to come out past his ear, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going up and stopping when I line up with the dot. And I'll put the dot right there, nice and straight, flat out. Same thing on this other side. I'm taking a long time on this because I want this nice and neat and lined up well. So I'm going straight out for the dot, and I'm stopping when I get just out over the ear. Just a little bit lined up with the edge of the ear, really. And I'll put a flat line in there. Now, I put a little C right there, and a little D shape right there. But I'm not going to hook them up yet. I got to put some hair in there first. So I'm just putting, the starting of the underneath the rim. And then I'm going to go right in here about, halfway across, and I'm just going to give him some curly hair like this on both sides. It's going to come down and hit his ears. Curly hair there, here and there, and then a little bit on his forehead. Then I'll just finish out these lines. I'll just make them come over and hook onto his hair. And you got the underside of the hat, the rim, the bottom rim of the hat. Now to make the hat, here's where you can make a creative change. You can make it straight up and over. You can make it slant. And I'm going to make mine slant. I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to slant like this is kind of a backwards L that leans a lot. It's like a backwards L that leans. Now I'm going to keep going about that far. Same thing over here. I'm going to hook on. Where did I hook on there? Let's see. That was right over the eye. Corner of the eye. I'm going to hook on right there. I want to hook on same place pretty much on both sides if I can. Get those stretched up there. Kind of looks like antennas right now. And then I'm going to put it's like a frowning face line on top. It's just got a little bit of a curve in it. That makes the top of his hat, and right in the middle I'm going to put a big, big square. And these leprechauns are based on people from Ireland, or in other words, the Irish. This must have been a very popular way of dressing. We see this again a lot of times with pilgrims. It's usually black and white. We're going to have this green and white with red hair. Of course, you can make creative changes there also. All right, that's coming along pretty good. Now we've got to get the pot of gold, and then we'll put him on a table, and this should be shaping up very nicely. All right, we've got to skip down a little bit when we put the top of the pot, and I don't care what shape the pot is. I'm going to make mine kind of like a gigantic bowl with a rim. But you've got to leave room for his gold. If you don't have some gold, he's going to be upset. So we don't want to upset our leprechaun. All right, skip down. I don't know. Let's try 2 fingers. Let's see what that does for us. Go down 2 fingers right under the middle of everything. Jump down 2 fingernails. I'm going to put a dot there. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to slide over and I'm going to stop when I get just outside of the rim of his hat. Here's the rim of his hat. I slid my finger over and I want to see if I come straight down. Now straight is like the edge of the paper. 1 finger's on the edge. Straight is like this. Straight down is not like that. Straight down is not like this. Straight down is just like the edge of the paper. And I stop when I get down where this dot is. And I'm going to put another dot to mark that side of the pot. I'll do the same thing over here. I want this to come straight down and stop when I get lined up with that dot. Now these dots may not be perfectly lined up across. I'm just going to put a straight line between them. And if I miss the dot in the middle, that's fine. I want a straight line between the outside edges. And while I'm there, I'll go ahead and put that rolled rim on there. I think that looks pretty good. So I'll put a little C right here and a little D right there. Actually, it's like a little letter B. It's like the bottom part of a small letter B, but it's shaped like a capital letter D. All you need to know is that it's a little curved line that goes this direction, really. Let's go ahead and run this line across. I'm keeping it light till I get it shaped like I want it. Then when the rim is shaped the way I want it, I'll darken it in some more. We'll put the gold on in a few minutes. Let's go under this rim, go under the curved part, get back lined up with your dot, and come down just a little bit on both sides. You know, if you can't tell what I'm talking about, all you have to do is look. If you can look and copy what you see, that's all you need to do. I'm going to turn it so that this is up and down. It's vertical. Got his head pointing that direction. And I'm going to use my finger to kind of measure. I'm going to lay my hand flat. And I'm going to use this joint in my finger. See, it's got a little line across it right there. It's a little wrinkle in the skin. And I'm going to slide that so that it's right on that line. And I'm going to make his fingers like this. Like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of pickles or hot dog weenies. And that's how big I'm making them. That's about as tall as, a little bit taller than my fingernail, really. And I'm going to make, I guess I'll make 4 of them. There's one. These touch, and all these lines touch. It's like you're stacking up or putting pickles or hot dog weenies side by side. And the last one be shorter. That's his little finger. And then we got to do it again right here. Get lined up there, and I'm going to draw this one first, and then put this one beside it. 3. The last one's going to be short for his little finger. I should have made that one even shorter. If you want fingernails, you just go like that and you got fingernails. Now, if yours looks like a cluster of bananas, it'll work. If it looks like pickles stacked up, it'll work. All right, we want to go right here, down here on this last little finger, and just slant out like you're going to make a triangle like the roof of a house, only just make the first line of it and stop. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Let's keep it symmetrical. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, but we're going to draw it in a symmetrical way. Now, go right here, find this place on his jaw or cheek. Click on right there and start a line. It's about a fingernail wide. Start a line there. come straight over. Keep it the same on both sides if you can. About a fingernail there. Now the trick is to go from here to here with just a little bit of a curved line. I have to come straight a little ways, and then I start to curve and come right in on that. I have to go straight just a little ways more, and I start to curve. This is a good place for a very light line. Start to curve, and I come right in on that. That didn't line up perfectly straight, so I'll go back and just make a little bit of a change in there. And we have to put just, it's like half of a rainbow shape right there to kind of give the arm two joints. Now, your leprechaun may be this fat, but if he's not, now you've got to decide. If you like him like this, do not put these next two lines. If you want your leprechaun a little more skinny, you can go right back in there, start a line there, and just make a little A. Just very small, not big now, on both sides. That'll make your leprechaun just a little bit more skinny. He's too skinny on the arm right there. But you don't have to have that. Now, for his collar, we can make a big, gigantic, huge letter A there with flat pieces coming off like the bottom of an L, and then just curve that over onto his arm or shoulder. Now we didn't give him much of a shoulder. We kind of like run the shoulder and the arms together, and that's all right. That'll work. It's kind of like we blended the neck and the shoulder in together, but I think it's going to be all right. Now we'll put the pot on there. The bottom of the pot. Sorry, we've already got the pot. You just have to go back there and skip whatever you did on the hand. I hope that hand looks all right. Skip. Get your new starter lines right there. Make sure they're lined up. It just takes a second to double check your work. Just double check. Take your time. Good work takes time. And good work usually takes a little bit of double checking. You do it, and then you kind of check it and see if it's like what you want. Now, this is a huge space to fill, and I'm going to make it like a letter D. So I'm going to draw very light because it's so big. And my D is going to be flat, kind of flat. If you make it perfectly round, it's okay. You can put legs on your pot and it'll still work out. But where this is so big, we're going to go around and then just a little bit of a flat piece and then come on around. It's still shaped a whole lot like the front of a D, capital letter D. It makes a pretty nice rounded pot. If you want little legs on your pot, you just like put little V's right there with circles. And it makes it look like a pot with legs or feet. Something to help it stand up straight. Alright, now for the table. The table is a little bit tricky. You've got to just go about halfway. Just get up on the pot some. Below the hand would be good. There's several places we could put it, but we'll go right below the hand. Let's do that. Go halfway to the edge, just halfway, and put a dot. And what we want to do, we want to run one line straight back to the pot, and we want to run the other line off like the roof of a house. And you just go until you run off the edge of the paper. Do the same thing over here. Just go about halfway over that empty space, run one line straight back under his hand, and run the other line like the roof of a house, slant down like the roof of a house. Then, I don't know if these will line up or not, but you can run a straight line across, and it doesn't matter whether they do. That just doesn't even matter. You can run a straight line across there, and if you want it to look like a lip on the table, or like, this is made out of a thick piece of wood, you can run another line under it. Now, if your table is open underneath, you can show, a few lines for the leprechaun's legs. Or if this is on a box of something, you can decorate the box. And you can put other things. You can put some gold coins around here and there. Now, what I've done, I've made a little bit of a mistake because I drew these too dark. Now, when I go to put the gold in there, it's going to give me a little bit of a problem. And I'm just making little egg shapes, little oval egg shapes for the gold. And we're about out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and stop with that and play you some music. And you may See me color a little bit. There's one thing I did not do that I think I'm going to do right quick is put this little bit of a beard on him. I like that beard on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and make that beard. And we're done with that. Always put your name in the bottom right hand corner somewhere. And I hope it was fun.